Okay, hi everybody, and welcome back to a remote writing workshop. I have to just start off. Erin, you look very nice and dapper today. Can you tell me what the occasion is?
The occasion is it's my birthday. And so we have a certain theme today, a nice topic, which you will tell us about. And I thought that I would wear, this is called a fascinator, and I absolutely love it. And I usually only bust it out on special occasions, like cocktail parties or something. But I figured since it's my birthday, I can wear this while I'm editing because it's my birthday. And I don't care what people think. If someone thinks I look foolish, I don't care. So with that said, what is our topic today?
Well, you look beautiful and happy birthday. It's Leo season, everybody, so. Okay, so today we're talking about rejection and criticism, which are never easy things to face. And publishing is one of those businesses where an author has to develop thick skin in order to make it to the other side. So how does one emerge through all the criticism as a better and a stronger writer? What are some of the instances of criticism and possible rejection that writers must power through during the publishing process?
Well, there are a lot of them. And I think you really do have to just develop a thick skin because it starts at the beginning from the submissions. And there's going to be letters from literary agents after you've sent all of your query letters out. And a lot of those letters are hopefully going to be kind, but ultimately they're a big fat no. And it's not fun to get. And there's also going to be some possibly scathing reviews by professional critics, perhaps in Publishers Weekly, other publications. Then you have reader reviews on Goodreads, Amazon, and all of those. And then you have your editor giving you the first round of heavy feedback. And if you're not used to that, that can be tough to take. And of course, nowadays with social media, you just have people who are just jerks and they kind of hide behind their keyboards and they just want to be really rude to make themselves feel better. And there's no rhyme or reason. But regardless of the source and the intent, rejection, criticism, they're tough to handle. But as a writer, you really have to learn how to power through it and get all kinds of feedback, whether it's constructive criticism or just rejection, and whether it's given kindly or not with good or bad intent. And it's just essential to be able to handle it as a writer and as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. So how does a writer handle rejection when you're sending out your work to agents or other publishing houses? It must be brutal when you're hearing no after no.
It really can be brutal because this is your baby that you worked so hard on, and you're finally sending it out into the world. It's leaving your nice, safe, positive home, and it's going out to these professionals who read these all day long. So it's a big deal. So you're going to be mailing out your query letters to agents, and you're going to begin to get rejections. Or you might not hear back at all. And when you do hear back, you might get an email that reads, "Sorry, but the market is saturated with similar books right now," or "I just didn't feel the writing was strong enough," which really hurts. But remember that publishing is very subjective. So one agent or publisher might hate your novel, your book. Another one might adore it. One ends up using it as a doorstop. The other one is going to pay you $1 million in advance. So the first step is to figure out what to do with the feedback that you receive. So if you send out a query letter to an agent and you get a form letter rejection, don't take it too hard. They probably haven't had time to really read it, and they're just sending out this letter. Sorry, not for me. So just move on. Don't worry about it. Now, if you've gotten 50 agent rejections from your query letter, consider rewriting it because it's obviously not getting the attention you want from these professionals in the business. It's not just a few who are too busy to take the time or who are having a bad day. So revisit that letter, send it out again.
Awesome. How can a writer use that rejection to their advantage?
Well, you really want to learn to focus on and appreciate the rejection letters that get very detailed. So it's really how you look at it. So see it as constructive criticism. And you can actually use that detailed feedback to improve your chances for publication. So look at it in a positive way, because those experienced agents and editors have taken the time out of their very, very busy schedules to read your work, and they're giving you priceless feedback. So if you get specific comments on your work on how to improve it, how to revise it, get really excited and use those detailed rejections as really positive things and dive back into your work. And now that's not to say if you have one agent that suggests you change everything about your story, you should do it. You know, you don't want to rework your novel and change your heroine from a sassy FBI agent to, you know, someone in a literary novel just because that might sell better for the agent. But if you're getting consistent responses from agent after agent about strengthening character, improving pacing, working on the writing itself, don't discount those rejections just so you can live in your happy little world. Mm-hmm. So if you get a lot of feedback about something, then you want to consider reworking it. But you really don't want to let everything slide off your back and ignore everyone's comments thinking that you always know best. You want to take the advice to heart when you hear it more than a few times and use that to your advantage. And for those who've taken the time to give you feedback, take it and run with it, because half of writing is rewriting. And I tell my authors that all the time. So get excited about it. If you get consistent rejections just across the board, you might want to consider setting aside your current work for a while and getting started on something new, book 2, 3, 4, or at least consider some substantial revisions. And of course, I always like to tell people when you're getting kind of bummed out, remember the greats, of course, that were rejected time and time again. You have Agatha Christie, who got tons of rejection. She never even published her first book that she sent out because nobody wanted it. A publisher told Louisa May Alcott, stick to teaching, you can't write. So there you go. You can Google stories of all sorts of famous authors who were just rejected time and time again. So take heart in that.
I just recently read Girl Wash Your Face, and Rachel Hollis was rejected a million times before she even published her first book. And Girl Wash Your Face wasn't her first book. It was her second or third, I believe, but she was rejected a million times. And so just keep going.
You just have to keep going. You just can't take it personally. And again, it's just so subjective. And it's like sometimes your work just isn't working for someone because of some reason that, you know, has nothing to do with your writing, or, you know, something you don't even know about, other titles on their list that are really similar, or, you know, factors that you're not even aware of. So just try not to take it personally.
Absolutely. And what about handling this constructive criticism? It must be hard to hear, even if it's well-intended.
Yeah, it is. But again, it's all in your viewpoint. And before you're published in the writing stages, feedback from others is essential. It's very smart to take. So view this reader advice through a positive lens as, again, feedback versus constructive criticism. I don't even like the word criticism at all, even if it's with constructive. It just sounds so negative. Just remember that everyone, your editor, your beta readers, your critique group, they all have the same goal as you, and that's to make the book better. And that's providing feedback about things that are just going to improve your work. No one is there to just make you feel bad or see you not succeed. So just look at it through that viewpoint. That said, it's important to get feedback from the right people. Again, the critique groups, your editor, beta readers, these are impartial readers. Your mom, your best friend, your girlfriend, anyone on your payroll, they are not. Impartial readers will give you the feedback you need so you can fix the issues before your end readers get the published book. And that's when it's too late to clarify, change anything, do all of that good stuff. And except for a few exceptions, these people are all giving you good early feedback. So take it into account. Mm-hmm. And the reason why you don't want to ask your mom, your wife, your husband, or your bestie is because their goal is not to improve your book. Their goal is to not hurt your feelings and to be able to have a peaceful dinner with you later. So no matter what they say, oh, if your wife, you know, is a librarian and she knows her stuff, don't give it to her. And again, as with agent feedback, don't make big changes if only one reader says to do so. But if you're consistently hearing those patterns and suggestions, then you can consider tackling those revisions.
Awesome. Okay, what about any bad reviews after publication from professionals and readers? What's the best way to handle those situations?
Well, you know, with professional reviews, with a grain of salt. I mean, some will compare it to Steinbeck. Others might say, you know, you're on par with someone who writes serial box copy. So who do you take to heart and who is just grumpy? there's no easy answer. Some authors I worked with will tell their publicist, I'm not reading any reviews, only send me positive reviews. That works. If that's something you want to do, hey. Other authors read every review they can get their hands on. I don't know if they're masochists or if they just learn how to let the negatives roll off their backs. All in all, if you're getting a bad review, just know that it goes with the territory. Even classic literary greats were often, told to dry out their fountain pens, find a new line of work. So if it's just a few biting remarks here and there, take them with a grain of salt. But, if you're hearing, again, it's the consistency of feedback. If you hear that, you might want to discuss with your editor the finer points, see if, for the next book, there's room for improvement. And for those critics who kind of launch a full-out war against your book, I always remember a quote by Kurt Vonnegut. He said, "Any reviewer who expresses rage and loathing for a novel is preposterous. He or she is like a person who has put on full armor and attacked a hot fudge sundae."
Amazing. And something I also want to throw in here too, with professional reviews, absolutely like Erin said, also worry about the consistency of things. But if you have a couple of book reviewers who don't give you the highest praise of reviews, Erin and I have actually talked about this particular subject. Some people just don't like some style of writing. And we have preferences when it comes to what we like to read. And just remember that too, like you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that is absolutely okay. Just like not everybody's going to like you, not everybody is going to like your writing. You're always going to have some people who will find something wrong with it, just like you will find some people who just don't like you for no apparent reason. You're just not their cup of tea, and that's fine. Just don't.
And it's so true. It's so true, because a lot of the times I know professional reviewers try and work with, they're given books that are kind of within what they like to read, what they're knowledgeable about, but a lot of times that does not happen. And it's so true, because they're like, if someone loves commercial novels and they're giving something very literary, they could be like, who would read this? Because
right.
It's not their thing.
Yeah, and this is more so speaking like if you do book giveaways or like things, or if you read Amazon reviews or like Goodreads reviews and the book was given off of a giveaway or someone purchased the book, if they're not professional, and like I said, all of the reviews you're going to, take to heart, but, take in the good and just exhale the bad, because like I said, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that is absolutely okay.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Okay, so and finally, perhaps the most prevalent form of feedback in our society today, online reviews from the readers. Sorry, I kind of touched into this too early. What should writers do about awful and just plain mean reader reviews?
Well, you know what? Ignore all of these disgruntled readers on social media, and do not respond directly to negative reader reviews. It's only going to make you look bad. Just don't try and tackle this. Don't try and change their minds. Don't get into it. Just don't. Sit on your hands. Turn off your computer. Don't do it. Nothing good can come out of arguing with someone online where other readers and book buyers can see it. You're going to make yourself look bad. There's a lot of people out there that are getting out their own aggressions and unhappiness. And so look at it that way. So if a review is particularly snarky or downright rude, just realize that's probably the case and just feel bad for them. Be like, oh, hope you feel better later. But if a large percentage of your readers dislike your book, you know what? Might have to put on your big boy pants, big girl pants, take a look at what went wrong, turn it into constructive feedback for your next book. Overall, you just have to move through the publication process from start to finish and just thicken your skin, toughen up, buttercup. Mm-hmm. Or you can use the old standby and say to yourself, they're stupid and I don't care what they think. And that works too. That's what I'm doing with my lovely, lovely hat today. And so whatever works for you, but those are some tips.
Absolutely. And remember, a lot of people hide behind keyboards, and sometimes the best part of their day is picking fights online. So just let it slide right off and just say, hope your day gets better, or whatever you're struggling with, hope it gets better, because they are obviously struggling with something. If they need to pick online fights, it's just not worth your time, not worth your energy. Let it slide right off. And like we said earlier, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that is absolutely okay.
Yep.
All right.
Zen. Zen.
We are Zen. Good energy. Okay, weekly assignment. Erin, let's go. What is it?
Okay, this might be hard. You're going to do it. You're going to write a critique of your own work, and you need to make it constructive. You're not going to get in there and go, oh, I just love this. No. If you were reading it for the first time and you had zero investment in the work, but absolutely had to point out what could be improved, what would you put on that list? And use what you discovered to improve your work before publication while there's still time now. So go into it. And remember, you have to pick out some things that you would improve. Don't let yourself off the hook, and see what you come up with.
Awesome. Love that. Okay. Well, that wraps up this week's remote writing workshop. We will see you guys again next week. And as always, if you guys have a topic that you'd like us to address, definitely DM me and let's see if we can do it for you. If it's something that we can't, turn into a full video because it's, it's shorter, Erin will give me a lovely answer and I will just respond back to you. But if it's something that we can turn into a video that's educational and has enough beef to it, then definitely let us know what that is and we'd love to help you out. So as always, you guys make sure you're engaging with us on social, liking these videos, telling us, what you want to see, and we will see you guys next time.